We have Anna Klein on the call and Naomi Rogi here for you guys.
You're like he's really busy. I guess Anna, kind of start off like what a win like that. We talk about momentum all the time, but on the road, regional championship at Ritter. I mean, what is the confidence level now if it wasn't already sky high?
Yeah, I mean, I think, can you guys hear me? Sorry, that's cool. I think obviously it was a super big win, especially after the weekend before, like coming out, maybe feeling a little low, but then coming out on top there, I thought we played great. And the confidence is huge, like gaining that momentum going into the tournament now. And then we've got a big rematch against Northeastern. So I think everybody's just fired up and we're ready to go.
Naomi, these close games, I mean, that's just kind of what you guys do. What was maybe the message to the team between the second and the third period?
We have 20 minutes and we can finish it out strong. We know what we can do. We're capable of putting another puck in the net if we have to, but we're also just winning the lines as we go, like get out of our D zone, get the red, get it deep. And our forecheck was amazing all weekend. So just using that to our advantage and making them go 200 feet was a big thing.
Kleiner and Rogi, I saw that video of your reunion with Ashton there. Kleiner, start with you. I'm just curious, like, what did it mean to see Ashton on that? That was Friday, and I'm wondering if like that provided you guys any sort of boost, motivation, fuel as you went into Saturday's game.
Yeah, I was obviously very excited to see Ashton. She's one of my best friends, so. And it was a surprise, which made it even better. So it was super fun to see her. I think, I mean, yeah, it gives you a little bit of excitement, a little bit of motivation, but it also like brings things back to like eye level, like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is just a fun place to be, fun time to be in. And she made it easy, made the practice light beforehand. It was a really good surprise.
Rogi, how about you? You seemed in complete shock that entire time in that video. I don't know if it's because Kleiner was just losing it or what.
Well, I was actually out there before, and I think Kleiner was in the locker room, and she like heard all the screams, and I think it was Nina maybe that was like, Kleiner, you should probably go check it out. But I turned the corner and I would like jaw dropped. I like started crying because I haven't seen her in so long. It's so exciting to see a friend like that who has accomplished so much. And you're just so proud of her, and being able to see her in person and say that to her face is super special. And then, like Kleiner said, she just brought like kind of a relaxed feel to practice, and it was super light. It was awesome.
To be heading into Northeastern here, you guys not only have experience with them, but you have experience with them on this very stage. What are maybe the biggest things that you feel like you've built upon this year, especially after that big upset win to take into the Frozen Four again?
I think overall, just throughout these past year, like we have so much more confidence. And last year, I think it was like such a big deal to make it to the Frozen Four. And this year we're like, that's not good enough. Like we want to win the whole thing. So having that. And then also I think it's just fun to play a team that you've played before and to try and get revenge. Like we're all so pumped up to play them. And we've really been focusing on ourselves this season. And I think that's going to be a big key for us in this game and taking them down.
I guess, Naomi, if you could, I mean, what do you remember the most from last year's game besides that little thing at the end, I guess?
They have a high scoring offense. They have some of the best players in the nation. So just kind of shutting them down is, I think, super important, as well as like Kleiner said, like we focus on ourselves a lot, and we know that if we stick to our game plan, we'll be able to come out on top. That's kind of been our thing the whole season. As Kleiner just said, is like, if we focus on ourselves, we know what we have here, and we know that that is enough to win if we just come out with the game plan as we're supposed to.
When you both talk about like having been there before and the experience of playing in the Frozen Four, are there specific aspects of going into this that you feel more comfortable with now than maybe you did last year in Erie? And I know this is going to be a little different because it's not all one tournament and not as much pandemic restrictions. Wondering if there's one area specifically that stands out. Maybe you won't know that till you get there.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything super specific other than the fact that like like we said, now we have experience. It's so good because we only have like a couple players on our team now that haven't had that experience. But other than that, there's nothing that big. You're still gonna have nerves. You're still gonna be excited, but just who comes out ready to play, I guess.
This one could be for both of you as high-level athletes throughout your career. I'm not sure how many times you've been considered an underdog, but we saw Coach mention that you guys are kind of underdogs coming into this. So how much is the team embracing this? Since I said you've high-level athletes, you guys probably rarely have been called that.
I think we thrive in that. I think when people kind of count us out, that's when we are like, all right, we'll prove you wrong and we'll show you what kind of team we are. And I think we know what kind of team we are inside the locker room. So what people are saying outside doesn't really matter to us. If they say that we're the underdog, that's their problem. When we come out and we'll beat them.
For both Naomi and Anna, I know Coach is right there, but I want each of you to make a case for her to win Coach of the Year.
Well, that could take forever because I think she's the greatest coach. So, but yeah, I mean, how much she's brought to this program, and since she's been here, how successful the program has been incredible. So, just looking at that, but then this year, I think she has like the most wins that she's gotten since being at UMD. It's just been a great experience having her. Sorry, there's people talking, but I'll let Rogie go now.
Kleiner like kind of touched on like the hockey side. She's just so knowledgeable, but also she cares about each and every one of us. And I think that's super special in a coach as well. Is like you could walk into her office and have any kind of conversation you need, and she's there for you. A lot of us kind of say she was a mom before she really was one. And we really felt that with her. And I think that's super special to have it a coach.
Guys are making me tear up over here.
Anything else for those two? Good. Okay, good. You go to class, Kleiner. We'll see you tomorrow, Rogie. And next up is Coach here.
See you guys. Nice job.
Maura, do you have some injury updates? Flaherty, Katie Davis.
Flaherty out. Katie Davis should be good.
Katie's okay. Okay. And Clara's fine as well. She's a tank, isn't she?
Yeah, just got dinged up on that play, but she's just fine.
Clara and Manon, we talked a little bit about on Saturday, and Gabby, that line, what they've been able to do and come together this season, especially in the postseason. Just how big has that been?
Yeah, they're huge for us. I think, they've been steadily relentless throughout the last month and a half. I think of some of the St. Cloud games, on the road on those Tuesdays, who really showed up in game 2. They were still there, even though our team didn't play well. They were doing what they do. And I think they have such a confidence in what they do and who they are. They're relentless on the forecheck. They're tough. Like I said on Saturday, Manon and Gabby Kraus are two of the fastest players on the ice, and Clara loves to hang on to the puck and make plays. So I think they're really complementary of each other. I think they understand where they're going to be on the ice, and that helps them. And I thought they played so freely on Saturday, and that's what made them so valuable.
We were talking, the only time you really had to start shortening the bench was after Katie got knocked out of the game there. How valuable is that to have a team going into this year's Frozen Four where you're rolling all 4 lines and you can roll all 3 D pairings, and you don't necessarily have to rely on TV timeouts and everything to, play the matchup game and such?
It's nice. It's something, Lou and I have talked about here over the years, just really wanting to have that playable 4th line. And throughout the course of the season, when we have played 4, it's usually gone pretty well for us. And I think the way we've balanced out the lines makes it really positive for our group. And you saw on Thursday night, Huey getting that goal in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and her line being out there. I thought that was a real statement piece for them.
Is there an area when we talk about experience going, back to the Frozen Four for the coaches, the staff? Is there anything that feels a little easier, calms the nerves at all going into this one compared to last year?
Yeah, I think what they probably would have said had they thought about it a little bit deeper would be just, we play in a bunch of different tournaments throughout the year. So I forget what it was called, D1 and DC, going to a different rink, being in an unfamiliar locker room, having the opponents really close by, just some of the things that we probably take for granted when we play at Amsoil, not having those things, you get used to that. So you don't walk into some of these tournaments expecting everything to be what it is. So I think that's important. I think having other teams around and seeing them can be a real distraction if you're not used to it. Sometimes you're warming up right next to each other, you're in the same hotel and you're seeing them all the time. That can bother people if you're not used to it. We've been used to it with not only D1 and DC, but then the past couple weekends with the final face-off and then the tournament down in Minneapolis. And I think the atmosphere at Ritter on Saturday in particular was unbelievable. And, so in terms of crowd and crowd noise and what that feels like, I think we're comfortable there. So those sort of little details can impact teams if they've never been there. So I think that helps us.
Talk a little bit just about this whole tournament experience with the expansion and more teams, and especially you being such a big part of helping this expansion be possible. How has that felt different than last season and in any way?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I think you look at all the matchups, they've been really, really good games. As the 8th seed, we wouldn't have been in the tournament last year, and here we are going to the Frozen Four. So I think that tells you that expansion was needed. We have the parity, and I think it's been a really fun tournament. I think the committee did a great job setting up the brackets, and it's going to be an amazing Frozen Four. And I would expect this Frozen Four in particular, following all of the expansion and the Kaplan report of the NCAA, I think it's going to be a top-notch event. So I'm really excited for our group to be able to experience that.
Maura, what makes Erin Franklin not only, I mean, we talk about her amongst the best goaltenders, but Patty Kessmeyer award winner. What makes her so good?
Yeah, I mean, you look at her and her height isn't something that you're gonna write about, but she's super athletic, has amazing instincts, has a great team in front of her too that allows her to see things and get to things. And she has tons of confidence. I think confidence is such an important piece of playing your best. And you look at their record and you look at what they've done over the course of her career. And she's a very confident, very athletic, very talented goaltender. And it's no surprise that she won that award last year. And, she's a big piece of their success over the course of her career.
How much discussion has there been, whether it's internally or with the players, about how the game went last year?
0. 0. It's like, first of all, today's Tuesday. We got back from the city Saturday night, Monday, they have Sunday off. We don't see each other. We had practice yesterday. And we're just, getting back into the groove. And today's an off day for us, and then we'll practice tomorrow and hit the road. So it's been a short turnaround in terms of focusing too much on Northeastern. And as the players said, we've done a nice job of focusing more on ourselves than our opponents this year. And I think that frees them up too, just to say, hey, you do what you do well as an individual and as a team. And we'll hone in on the important details when we need to, but that usually comes a little later in the week. And the ones that have been here are well aware of last year's game. So I don't even need to mention it.
Internally, I know this is the Frozen Four, so there's no extra motivation, but for yourself in general, you being from Mass, coached at Harvard, and just seeing that Northeastern, is there any extra boost for you when you just see a team that you grew up 45 to 30 on a good day minutes from, just playing them in this big game?
Yeah, it's more fun for me just as a Massachusetts resident playing a Mass team, knowing a lot of Northeastern alums, none less than our assistant coach, guys. Don't forget Laura Schuler's a Northeastern alum and coached there. So near and dear to her heart every other week, but not this week. And so that makes it fun. I feel like I know that style of play, Hockey East, ECAC. I know Dave, the coach from our days coaching D3. I was at UMass Boston. He was at St. A's. So we go way back. So yeah, there's an extra layer of fun for me.
Since we're talking about Boston, we're moving into Boston sports here. Reaction to Tom Brady coming back?
I was waiting for that. I thought I might get a phone call from some of you guys. Unbelievable. I still can't really believe it. And I'm not sure how I feel about it with, I was hoping it was going to be the 49ers. So going back to Tampa Bay, I'm not sure what went on there with Bruce Arians and how he worked that out. But I'm happy that he's going to be on the field. It's good for the NFL. It's good for fans. Just a little surprised by the whole thing still. Kevin, what do you think?
I whenever you see a video of him interacting with somebody, he would never say no, he wasn't retiring. I'm just surprised that he's actually come back to Tampa. I thought he was going to go to the 49ers and force his way there.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't going to be a distraction going into Frozen 4 week for you at all, Maura?
I think I'll manage. If anything, it makes me happy. So that's a good thing.
Anything else for Coach? Awesome. Thank you guys as always for being on, and we appreciate it a lot.